welcome to History Hook. My name is Ella and I work at the National Archives where we collect and preserve the government records of the United Kingdom. This session introduces the lesson called Bound for Britain, and for that we'll be opening one of our 11 million document boxes to reveal what's inside. Every box in our collection has a unique reference. This always begins with some letters and can often give us a clue about what the contents may be. For example, the letters FO stand for Foreign Office, so that collection will be about foreign matters. We need these references in order to be able to organise such a huge amount of information which we hold here. Our box has the reference BT, followed by a series of numbers. This is a tricky one, as it doesn't give us much of a clue as to what may be inside. BT stands for Board of Trade, which is a British government department concerned with commerce and industry. BT, followed by the number 26, is a very specific collection, and we will unravel the kind of information it contains as we go along. Before we open the box and find out what the document is inside, I'd like you to think of a few questions you could ask yourselves about a historical document which you've never seen before. For example, when I first look at a document, the question I usually ask myself is, what type of document is it? Is it a letter, a speech, or perhaps a list? I'm going to give you just 30 seconds to do this and to come up with as many other questions as you can, which could help us in our understanding of this document. So are you ready? Here we go. Right, let's see if you came up with similar questions to these. What is it about? Sometimes, even on the trickiest document to read, you might be able to pick out a few words which give us a hint about the contents. When was it made? This can be difficult when you're looking at original documents because you don't always have a date. But sometimes how the document is written and the style of handwriting can give us an idea. So who made it? The document may look as if it was created for an official purpose, or it may look as if it could be more personal. Who's it for? And why was it made? Sometimes these questions can be obvious, but often we'll have to look a little closer to work those ones out. And last of all, did you ask yourselves why we keep documents safe here at the National Archives? And in particular, when we're looking at this document, think about why we keep it here. So let's take a look what's inside the box. I'm only going to give you 20 seconds on this, so don't worry if you can't see the small details or writing. Just focus on looking at the layout of the document, how it's presented, and see whether you can explain what it actually is just using one word. And then think about the questions we've just looked at and how many of those you can answer. So are you ready? Your 20 seconds is coming up now. Okay. So what did you notice? I wonder whether you spotted that this document is in fact two separate pieces of paper. The top half is a cover sheet explaining the details which follow on the bottom part, and it's part of a much larger file full of information. It wasn't easy to read the smaller writing, but you might have noticed the different styles of print. You may have also noticed something about the layout. The fact that there are columns and rows perhaps suggests a method of recording something in an orderly way. And then, if we take a look at the top left-hand corner, it looks as if this part of the document was attached to something else. So perhaps it does come from a larger collection. What about the bottom half of the document? Have you noticed that it's typewritten? So perhaps this can give us a clue about when the document may have been created. So there might have been other things you've noticed about this document, but I'm now going to give you just the top half to look at more closely, and I'm going to give you 45 seconds. So are you ready? Let's take a look at this more closely now. Did you notice the title of the document? Some of it's missing, but it says incoming passengers. What do you think this means? And just further along, you can see the word shipping. That gives us a clue. Did you find a date? There it is. And above it is the name of the ship. Is there something on the document that tells us about where these passengers are coming from, or who in fact they might be? You may have worked out that this is a list of passengers, but did you notice how many were on this ship? So let us look at the second section again. Let's see if we can find out some more information from the bottom part. You may have noticed that some details have been removed. This was done in order to protect some personal details of the individuals on the list. So what can this document tell us about the people on this list? Well, it tells us where the person's coming from. So in this case, we can see that the people on this list are coming from Trinidad. If we look at the column which asks for the country on their passport, you might have noticed the letters BWI. This stands for British West Indies, and it was a term once used to describe British colonies in the West Indies, which are now better known as the Caribbean. Did you look carefully at the passengers' occupations? And perhaps you might have considered why this was really important information to include on this form. So on this list, it appears that most people came alone, but there's one family which appears several times, the family Benjamin. But there's something on the form that's missing. So sometimes a form can tell us something by omission, by not having something there. Why do you think their occupation wasn't listed? This is one person from that family. Her name is Fluella, and she arrived at the age of 11 to start a new life in Britain. She's part of a generation of people who came to live in the United Kingdom. She became a successful actress and presenter, and in 2004 was awarded the OBE, the Order of the British Empire, by the Queen, and that was for her charitable work, which she still continues to do today. Let's just return to our original document that we were looking at today. It was filed under BT 26. That's the name of the collection. There are many, many more in this collection. All BT 26 records record inward bound passengers arriving to the United Kingdom between the years of 1878 to 1960. Many immigrants arrived to work and settle in the United Kingdom, but some continued their journeys to other countries, such as the United States of America. After the Second World War, the British citizens born in the former British West Indies were encouraged to come to Britain to work, as there were many jobs that needed to be filled, especially in the health service and in the transport and hotel industries. One of the earliest ships to arrive in 1948 was called the Empire Windrush. The passengers on the ship, the Marquess de Comillas, arrived in Southampton on September 2nd, 1960. Their arrival was recorded on these passenger lists, and we keep those lists here at the National Archives. Well done for investigating this document. Now you can go to our lesson called Bound for Britain, where you will explore some more documents and photographs relating to those who left the Caribbean to come to Britain. You'll discover how they've settled into their new lives, and perhaps you'll even find out about some of the difficulties that they faced.